different use cases through this session. So we'll keep it like this. We'll just discuss all those data science, and at the end, if you have any questions, we'll address all those questions. Okay. So let's start. So before starting, let me just talk about a little bit about myself. So I am Somnath Mondal. So right now I'm working as a data scientist in one of the topmost insurance company, and also I'm a data science instructor. So if you go back to the education stuff, so I have obtained my bachelor's and master's degree from Indian Statistical Institute, Kolkata. Before coming to industry, I was in USA as a visiting graduate researcher, University of California, Los Angeles, and I'm a fellow. I'm just awarded by SN Bose, SN Bose Fellowship 2018, and also prior to that, I was a IIT KGP student as well. Okay, so that is a little bit of summary about myself, and yeah, so let's just start understanding data science now. If you ask me like what is data science, so if you just go for the structured definition, so I would say data science could be an interdisciplinary field which uses scientific methods, processes, algorithms, and systems to extract knowledge and insight from many structural and unstructured data. So that is something which is giving you the definition of data science. Now, if you ask me to explain in a more detail, so I would say data science is a way to get the story out of the data. Means we have a huge amount of data right now. So what we do in data science, we try to somehow get the insight from the data. For example, let's say we have a production company, try to understand if the sale is going up, or let's say the sale is going down, why the sale is going down. So if the data can help us to make the sale better, means suppose the sale is going down, what could be the reason behind it? If our product is bad, or let's say there are so many competitors that they are in the market. So all these things we try to explore with the help of data science. Now if you ask me like what kind of data we have, so we all are very much aware of that how the data are being generated. So studying from morning, whatever we do, like you use our smartphone, we go to any website, we are active on social media, Facebook, Instagram, we are doing so much surfing on internet. So all these things are creating huge amount of data. Also, like if you do some transaction, if you're doing some sort of grocery shopping, you're buying something from Amazon, all these things are creating a huge amount of data about you. So right now we are representing each of the person with their activities. Means whatever you are searching on Amazon, whatever you are posting on YouTube, whatever you are posting on Facebook, how valuable you are for the company. So all these things we will tell you, with the help of your data. Means each person can be profiled into the into their activities. Yeah. Now, type of the data we have, so this part we are very much, I guess, aware of. So text data we have, like the structured data, unstructured data. Some data are actually like if you go to the Bitcoin and all those things, the data you offered to scan only once. Also you have graph data, semi-structured data. So this will be a little bit of technical. So like we are using sometimes you are aware of like HTML and all those things. So all this kind of data we have right now. Now, if you try to summarize data science into many fields, so data science would be a great combination of math, statistics, computer science, also the domain knowledge. Correct. If you want to understand data science, so data science, that's the only reason I initially said it's interdisciplinary. It means you do not have any particular subject for that. You should be knowing mathematics, you should be knowing computer science. Also, we should be very good with hacking and all those things. So data science, it's a very nice combination of all those possible fields. So we have to take help of engineers, we have to take help of mathematicians, their research paper, the computer vision people. So we take help of all those people, and we have created our own science. So that is called data science. Now, we first need to understand that why should we learn data science? Correct, because we so nowadays we everywhere we see like data science, but what is data science? Now we have to first understand what is data science. And why should we even learn data science or machine learning or deep learning, or there are so many reinforcement learning, so many terms we have there, but why we need to learn this? Now let's first understand the reputation of this field and why data science is so much popular. Now the data science became so much popular because of the recent publication by Harvard. So Harvard Business Review recently told this is the sexiest job of 21st century, right? And also if you just go to some other popular website and all, like Glassdoor and all, where it's a very great website for job seeking people, so they have given the America's top most job. So data scientists are right nowadays called the new superheroes in some sense. Now why they are called superheroes, now we'll understand throughout the session. So this is about the reputation of the field. So this is one of the top most job in this century. Now if you see what data scientists in which field they are working right now, so starting from IT, national security, banking, finance, engineering, healthcare, in all those sector data science are involved in some sense, to explore the data, to understand the data, to analyze this, to bring insight, and to make for the to grow the organization. Correct. Now we are going to understand a little bit about demand. Now if you try to understand the demand of this field, now we'll understand why the demand is so much growing. The demand is growing also because of, like, right now we have the capability to store the huge amount of data and also to explore it. We have the computational advantage to use the amount of data. So if you see the graph, so from starting from 2014, the graph is still increasing. There is we can somehow see exponential growth. So right now we have a huge amount of job opening. So till 2019 the opening was like around 1 lakh. So if you see in 2020 beginning before COVID, the opening was around 2-3 lakhs in India itself, and out of those around 97% job, if you can see, it's a full-time job. So this kind of opening you get to see. Now if you just try to understand in different market, suppose if you enjoy, like, let's say consultancy, so there are so many big firms like McKinsey is there, Bain is there, BCG is there. They are hiring data scientists and data engineers to help their clients to make use of their data. And apart from that, if you just go to something like tech company, let's say Google, Amazon, Uber, Facebook, they're seeking data scientists more and more. And also if you go to manufacturing or energy market, so they are the one who have been like hiring data scientists a lot starting from very beginning. So because they know they need people for decision making, process efficiency, prediction, various type of prediction and all. So that is the only reason our trend is going high and high, like exponential growth you can see in the trend. Now if you try to understand what is the division or what is the distribution of data scientists in various sector, so we can see most of the data scientists work in banking and financial service, and also IT sector, and there is also e-commerce is there, healthcare is also there, energy is also there, telecom industry is also there. So these are the industry, and this is the expected number of growth, or this is the expected number of growth we have seen in the previous years. Yeah. And if you see out of this, the most most of the people who are into data science are working in the banking and financial sector, and also IT sector, computer vision, Microsoft, and all those company. But we have a huge amount of growth in the healthcare also, because in healthcare we are using most of the data to predict about their emergency room visit and various type of health disease like seizure and all prediction. We try to use their data using Apple Watch or any kind of sensor data. And also in e-commerce also there's a huge amount of growth if you see, because whenever you open something like in Amazon and something, they give you some sort of recommendation, right? So they are also using all of your data to give you some sort of recommendation about their products, and they are making you involved in their own product, like Alexa is there. So from Alexa also they are collecting your data. From, let's say, Amazon, from Amazon they can, so you can buy stuff, so from there also they are collecting your data. So from retail, e-commerce also the growth is actually increasing a lot. Okay. Now if we talk about salaries a little bit, so this is one of the top paying job we say in industry right now. So So if you ask me like how does the salary distribution work, so I will say like if once you start working in this field for 1 or 2 years, once you gain some experience, you will become very much valuable for that, for any company, because this is something which we do not learn from books. This is something we learn from our experiences. So after working for 1 2 year, you can expect at least a salary of, let's say, 20 lakhs or ever. And the starting salary, so on an average we see in data scientists the starting salary lies around 12 lakhs or around 11 or 12 lakhs. So after some experience, once you become much senior, you can easily, after 4 or 5 years of experience in India itself, you can expect around 30 to 40 lakhs. Okay. And also there is a huge amount of hike we get to see once you change your job and all. Yeah. And this should be the distributions. Most of the people are lie in the range of like 10 to from 6 to 15, because this is the range where most of the people are lying. And because this is where the, like, so you can expect if you're starting a job in data science or data engineer or anything related to data, you can expect your salary in between 6 to 15. So that is for the freshers. Once you gain some experience, you can expect more. And if I talk about the global market, the global market on an average, if I just tell you in dollar, the amount is around 150K US dollar. So 150K US dollar. So this is something you can expect annually. That should be the base salary, and with some experience, you can expect much more. Okay. Yeah, so that is mainly about data scientists. Apart from that, if you just take some other field like data architect, data engineer, data analyst, business analyst, they are also growing similarly, because whatever the work they are doing, that is also very close to the data science and all those field. Not exactly, but close enough. Now, what is the job market? Now, job market is good. So if you see, the job market for data science is growing so rapidly. Means if you starting from 2016, where what we started from, we are expecting by 2025 our the data science market will become 36 billion. So it will so if you see the graph here, so right now we are lying somewhere around 5,000. So we are going to expand around 8 times of the whatever we have right now. So you can calculate accordingly how much job openings will be there and how much salary growth you can expect if this market is going to expand by 8 times at least. Correct. And so yeah. So this is about mainly US market. If you just see in India, there is a huge opportunity in India as well. Yeah, and if you see, all these advances are expected to be highly beneficial, mainly for our society, and also having huge chance to work in this field. It will make you able to make a lot of impact in the world, as well as our quality of life. And if you try to understand, the artificial intelligence are mainly evolving in the sector of computer vision, IT sector, and it will. So in some sense, if you try to understand in this way, this kind of enhancement on involvement will lead to the steering of the wheel of the future in some sense. Okay, now we're going to understand key. Suddenly we get to hear like lot of data science and all those things. So people say data science. Why it is happening suddenly? Means, is it because that data science recently came in the market, or it is some other reason? So I would say machine learning is something, not a new field. Okay, it's in the original dates. Like if you ask me, so it was back in 1900 or even before. In 1800 also, it could be around like in between 1850 they started all those business of data science and all those. But what was the problem? Data science couldn't grow that much in that time. So the problem was very simple. The problem is, so right now we have two advantages. What is the first advantage? The first advantage, we have the huge amount of data now. So we are expecting by 2025, we are expecting around 175 zettabyte of data. So right now, if you see in 2020, we have around 40. We have around 40 zettabytes. So the market is going to expand by around 4.5 times. Now you'll ask me like how come this data is coming? So this is the data we are itself creating. So starting from, let's say we're using so much of smartphone, so much we can, there is a huge amount of growth we can say in the internet usage. So apart from internet usage and smartphone, there is so many other things we are doing. Like if you see like we are using, there are so many gadgets we use like Apple Watch, and there are so many sensors stuff we use like the Fit band. So all these things are creating a lot of data. Not only your health, in your health sector, also if you see IT sector and also banking sector, they are also using all those all of your data. So right now we have the advantage of to store the data and we use it, and we can use it. So that is how the market is growing, because it is also makes sense. Because see, it doesn't make sense if you have the only capability to store the data. We should be using the data in terms of decision making, process automation, insight discovery. So it will be a lot more beneficial for the organization. So if they can somehow use the data, for example, let's say Amazon, you have, let's say Amazon is having so much data of yours. If they cannot sell to new product to you, then what is the use of that? So that is why they need the data scientists to somehow understand what kind of need you have, by analyzing the kind of searches you do on internet, and they try to sell their product. Okay. And yeah, so this is mainly about the data. And the second thing is we have our computational capabilities. So if you see back in 1950 or 1960, we did not have any supercomputer or any advance. We didn't have any RAM. Also, if you didn't have any good GPU, right now we get to see so many GPUs are there, NVIDIA and all. We didn't have all those things back in 1950 and all. So even if we had data that time, we couldn't make use of that, because to run your model, we need so many GPUs, advanced computer. Also, we need cloud services like Amazon Web Service, Cloudera, or let's say Microsoft Azure. All these things we need, because to understand, to run our model, to deploy our model on cloud, all these things was not there back in 2000. What should I say? 2000, even if you said before 2019, 1970, 80. So if you see the deep learning research and all those things was started in very back, like 1850, 1920. There are so many research papers we could see at that time. But the thing is that we didn't have the computational advantage to come up with a new model each day. So right now, if you see the research trend, every day there are so many research papers are coming in. It is just because we have the capability to do so much research using the help of the data. That was not there back in 1950s or 1970s or something like this. Right now we have the capability of running high-end model on clouds, and not in a virtual machine and all those things. So that is how we are using so much of your data. Yeah. So right now I'm going to talk about a little bit about your use cases in different sector, and then we'll be addressing few questions. So let me just talk about few use cases. Now, let me give you some insight about our use cases. Now, how we exactly use in our real life. So this is something you can relate very well. For example, house price prediction. For example, suppose if you are planning to buy a house, or let's say what will be the trend of the price. Means suppose if you should be planning now, or you should be buying the house post-COVID, but right now you have no idea. You should be buying the house now, or you should be waiting for some more time to the price grow up or grow down. So all this prediction we can do with the help of our data. Also, if you see the banking sector stock prediction, like what would be the interest rate in the next quarter, what should be the stock price, so that you can do some sort of pricing and stuff. You can buy some stock and you can gain some money out of there. All those things we can do with the help of the data. And also, if you go to the manufacturing industry, so they are the one who are actually getting the most of the benefit out of data science, because starting from let's say demand for forecasting, if they somehow get to know in the next quarter this particular stuff is going to be high in demand. For example, during the COVID, if we could somehow, let's say, could have predicted, let's say, mask and all those sanitizers are going to go in so much in demand. So you could have made so much money out of there by investing in that. right? So it is all about like understanding the demand of the market. And also there are so many automation work we are actually right now focusing post COVID and all those things, because right now our main focus in less human interaction, so that can be achieved only using automation of the each of the module. And also so in the manufacturing sector there are so many other part of there, like the way I talked about, like demand forecasting, customization, anomaly detection. Suppose if you are creating some sort of product, you need to understand that particular product is faulty or not. So that is also a deep learning process. You need to understand, so this is a good thing or this is something a defective product. So all these things we are trying to do, we are trying to bring automation in all those different module using the help of data science. Now if you just see some more practical example, suppose if you need to translate something from, let's say, Bengali to English, or let's say Telugu to English or something, which just directly go to Google and just translate it. How it is done? There is a data science theory behind it. There's so many deep learning models out there which does that. Okay, so all these things you get to see recently, because all those advancement or machine translation, everything starting from 2012 and 14. Still the model is getting better and better, because if you see the kind of machine translation we used to get 5 years ago, we get much better, because the models are keep on getting better and better. With the once we get more data, the models are getting better and better and better. Also we get to see chatbot. So this is the same kind of architecture we get to see over there. And if you see computer vision, for example, just take so if you have used Google Lens and you have taken a particular photo, they give you everything. Take photo of a product, they give you information about that product. How they done? So this is some sort of computer vision work. If you take a photo, we can scan everything out of the photo. So if you see, we have a photo here. From that photo we have understood this is a car, and this is some words are there, some there is few signboards are also there, human beings are also being captured over there. And also in our daily lives, what we use Alexa, whatever we ask Alexa does that. So all these things are like, it's a speech recognition. So whatever we say, the speech is getting recognized by the machine. So this is also a part of data science. Now, if we see OCR, optical character recognition, for example, whatever we write on a white sheet and we scan it, and that thing comes in the machine. So that part is called OCR, optical character recognition. Okay. Now there is some more thing, like if you see biometric, like we use the help of our retina scanner, also our fingerprint scanner. All these things are called biometric. So that is also a part of data science, because the job is very simple. We need to understand two handprints of the same person, of a different person. It's also a classification problem. Now, yeah, voice recognition I also talked about. So if you give some command, so or Siri, or let's say Google, whatever Google has, they try to figure out whatever you are saying, and they do the job accordingly. Means they need to process the data you are throwing to the machine. Means whatever you say in whatever language, they somehow try to understand what you are saying, and they do the work. For example, if I ask Siri to set an alarm, so they will try to somehow understand what time I'm saying, what I'm saying, and they will do the job accordingly. Correct. So right now things are even so advanced. So if you ask your so it is not being implemented so far, but if you ask your machine to book an appointment to a, let's say, saloon, or let's say to a doctor, they can do that for you. They can call for you, they can fix the appointment for you. Yeah. So sensor data we are all very much aware of. So whenever we use some smartwatch, or let's say Fitband, so all those data they capture is actually sensor. So using this sensor data, we can do so many things. Like there is scissor, all these things we can predict much ahead of time using the sensor data, ECG curve, and all those things. Yeah. So now I'm going to talk about a little bit of data science in each of the sectors. So we're right now going to understand the use of data science in each of the sector. Now let's first go to e-commerce, and let's try to understand what kind of things they are doing with the help of our data. Now the main thing they do, which we are all of very much aware of, so there is something called recommendation. So recommendation is something what? So suppose if you do some purchase, let's say if you some from phone, you will get to see that they are giving you some sort of recommendation that customer who bought this item also bought. So what they are doing, they try to somehow figure out what kind of need you have. Correct. And also not only this like this is something you get to see, like customer who bought, also sometimes they give you suggestion automatically even if you do not do any purchase. They somehow try to figure out, let's say, what is your zone, what kind of things you do, and they somehow try to relate you with their existing customer. Now let's say somehow they can figure out if you are similar to one existing customer they have, what they will do, whatever that person has purchased, they're going to suggest you the same product. And also with the help of digital marketing. So what we are doing with the help of digital marketing, the bringing the combination of data science and digital market is something like this. So suppose if this is something we get to see very often actually. So whenever if you go to some site, let's say Instagram or Facebook, but before that, suppose if you go to some website, let's say Myntra or let's say Amazon, if you just do some any sort of product search, if you come back to Instagram and Facebook, the same product they will show again and again, right? So this is the with the help of the data science, what we are doing, we are actually bringing, we're somehow bringing our advertisement level to the customer specific. Means right now, if you remember, we used to do advertisement on television, just to on television, just to understand what, just to understand like just to focus on a specific group, let's say younger group, old, let's say housewife and all those things. Right now with the help of data science, we are going to each of the customer to sell our product. So often we get to see, let's say, some specific coupon and stuff Google is providing us, sorry, Ola is providing us. Ola is telling you, let's say, for you there is a discount of 20% of all those things. So this is something you are only getting, not everyone. And also let's say somehow Ola gets to know that you are traveling from here to, let's say, position A to position B almost every day. So they can, after some day, if this after few days, once they understand this is something you daily need, they're going to charge you like anything. So this is something they are doing with the help of your data. Okay. Now, if you just go, let's go to banking sector. So in banking sector, the banking is mostly related with the stock market and all. So what we get to see, so you can predict like any stock price. Let's say you suddenly get to understand like some particular stock is going up, you can invest over there and you can get some money out of there. So this is about stock market. And also the one major thing we do in banking is fraud detection. So suppose someone else is trying to get into your account and someone else is trying to fraud using your credit card and all. So somehow bank needs to understand, okay, it's a genuine transaction or it's not a genuine transaction. Correct. And also another major task they do is actually defaulter. So if you go and ask some sort of loan, they need to really understand that whatever loan you are asking, that is something you can repay or not. So that is the particular field is called default, understanding the person is going to default or not. Right. So that is also a major study of data science. Now, if you go to the security sector, means often we get to see there are so many things in terms of like, if you see, let's say someone else is trying to get into your, let's say suppose if you give your credentials, let's say your name and your password to someone else. Now Google sometimes try to understand that person is the correct person or not. For example, suppose if you're trying to log in your account from India, let's say someone else from Dubai or somewhere else trying to get into your account, Google probably will stop it. You know how they will try to understand whatever you are doing right now, because the last person who got logged in from India, right now after a few minutes they're trying to log in from somewhere else. So they will try to somehow figure out that there is the authenticity of the person. So and they will somehow send you a text, okay, this person tried to log in and with this is from this IP address and all. So this is kind of security system they have developed from their end. Now, if you try to understand data science in healthcare, so data science in healthcare also has gone too ahead with the help of the data science and all. So right now, with the help of the data, suppose somehow I try to understand, I get to know, let's say the person is going to go to ER and something. What we'll do, we'll directly send a text to that person. Hey, you might get into this, just go and visit the doctor. If we somehow understand the person is going to suffer from something, we will directly send him that text and they can directly go to the doctor and get some sort of benefit out of there. And also, if you go to this discovery, so drug discovery is something which is a very difficult thing. So previously, we used to spend like millions, like 12, around billions of dollars, and let's say around 10 to 12 years to come up with a new drug. So right now, the things had got much better with the help of the data science. Because if you see right now, so we create simulation. So right now, we do not have to wait for the experiment to over. We somehow create simulation from out of the data, and we end our process very early and get FDA approved, and then the drug can get FDA approved. Yeah. And yeah, so let's talk about a little bit of computer vision. So this is something we're very much aware of, I guess. So this is something we use a lot. So if you see computer vision, so this is something we use a lot. Like we try to open our phone with the help of our face. So this is a face recognition stop. For example, your mobile need to understand that the person they are seeing, it's you or someone else. So this is something about face recognition. This is also about deep learning. The next thing is optical character recognition. That is also about deep learning. For example, if I were to try to do some sort of, let's say, payment using Google Pay, that is also comes from OCR. Let's say there is a page, something is written over there. If you try to convert that image to text, and the only thing which can help you is optical character recognition. Correct. Now, traffic control, if you get to see, so suppose someone is going with the high speed and all. So right now we do not do it manually. So in a few other countries like US and all, these things already being automated. So they will take the photo of the license plate and they will send you the notice. Okay, hey, you are so I found you there like with the high speed, and just pay the challan receipt, whatever they will send you, ask you to pay. You have to pay that amount of money. So this thing already being automated in some other countries. And also object detection I talked about. So suppose if you take a photo, they need to understand which object, let's say it's a car, it's a human being, traffic light, all those things. This is about object detection. So object detection is much more advanced now. So we have so many models we have already developed. So it's still being, so last model even came in 2019. So this is something you might find interesting. This is called deep coding. What we do using that, so previously what happened around 2017 or something, Microsoft had few employees who were not able to code or something. So what they do, they try to come up with something like deep coding. So recently, yesterday only, I saw Microsoft got too much of success in that. So right now computer can code for you. If you give some input, computer can code for you. So right now we do not have to sit in front of computer, and we can do the coding part at all. Yeah. So this is about data science. Now there are a couple of few questions I'm going to address. Now this question we always have, like people always ask me like, can I really build a career in data science? The first question I get to see, like, don't know program, how to program. So I would say to know computer science, to know data science, programming is a tool. Programming something is not going to be the crucial part, I would say. Even if you're not a great programmer, that's still okay. You can learn few stuff, and to create a great machine learning algorithm or data science algorithm, you do not have to be very great in computer science. Even if you're good, that's more than enough. Means you do not have to be great. So it's a tool, I would say, which you need to use, but this is not the only thing. Yeah. And now if people also say that I don't know math and algebra, that is still fine. If you don't know math and algebra, that is fine, but with some basic algebraic notion, you are fit in this field. And however, a solid mathematical background will always help to understand the inside of the data, to come up with something new from your end. And also, if you so during the entire process, if you try to learn from this, so there are a huge amount of resources out there, you can go and learn. So there is no problem over there. And so is for programming. If you start every day, you can learn a new thing. So so for myself, so right now I work in 4 software at the same time: MATLAB, R, Python, and also sometimes I use like Hadoop and all those things. And if you think like, I do not know anything about data science and machine learning, so this is a process. Like you have to, so once you make sure that you are interested in this field, you can get inside the field and you can learn each of a day. So I would say like take a algorithm, try to see the implementation, what is the use case you can solve. So try to so learning data science could be something like, if you just try to figure out a use case, suppose some use case you can come up with, then you can think like how data science can help me in that. Let's say if you are working in a production company, if your job to understand why the manufacturing company or production company, why the sales are going down, so you have the data, take use of the data, use some data science technique. I try to understand the math behind it, try to create a basic model, then try to improve the model over time. So this is how we actually can learn. And if you're also interested in learning, you can get into, what should I say, into some online courses with you can get associated with us and all those things. Yeah. Yeah, so there are few companies who are actually hiring data science a lot. So this is something to name a very few. There are so many other companies are there who are actually hiring. So this is few names I have all mentioned over here. And yeah, so this is something I wanted to share with you. And there are a couple of more things which I wanted to share with you. Like you must be asking that why should we choose Prime? Now, what exactly we are doing Prime? So we are putting everything to the level of animation, because we really understand the problem of mathematics. Because see, there are so many people who come to us, they really don't know math. So what we do, we're trying to put all the algorithm to the level of animation. So even if you're not really good with mathematics, you can really appreciate the beauty of data science. Means you really don't have to go to mathematics in that detail. Once you get to see the visualization that how each algorithm is working, somehow you will get the feel, okay, so this is something we need to go with, and how we can proceed about the algorithm and stuff. So everything we are putting into the level of animation. So once you are good, once you see the animation, you will understand, okay, so we should build our math this way. So this is how we are actually operating right now. We're putting everything to the level of animation. So guys, yes, so this is what I wanted to share with you. So guys, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. We can just go ahead with the questions. There's anything you want me to repeat or any questions, guys, if you have, just feel free to ask me. I'll try to answer your question. Hi Vishal. So you are from mechanical background, that is fine, but what is your question? And hi Anirudh. Suitable language for data science. Okay, it's a very difficult question to answer. To be very honest, people are actually, so when I started with R. So right now I have moved on for Python and MATLAB, but it really doesn't matter. So once you learn one language, other language will become very easy for you. So start with one language. I would say start with R, because R is a little bit of easier. Python is much more organized, I would say, but doesn't matter. Once you learn R, Python will be very easy for you. So it's just a tool, you don't have to worry much. But R and Python both are useful. R has some more statistical advantages, and Python has some more machine learning advantages to deploy the model. It's a little bit of more organized than R. And you can also use MATLAB. MATLAB is also very, very fast. Yeah. So hi Vishal, I understood your question. So even if you're from mechanical, so as I already mentioned, you do not have to be knowing coding and all those things. So what we do here, we start everything from very basic. So let's say even if you don't understand coding, I'm sure you must be good with math. So if you're good with math, the coding and everything would not be a problem. So we start everything from very scratch here. We do not assume that people know coding and all those things. Yeah, so coding, and so we also start with some, let's say we also give some the definition of 12 math, let's say matrix, eigenvalues, eigenvector, all those things we teach. Then we go into data science. So to get into data science, we really don't need to know so much math, so much coding. It is just that you need to have the passion for the field, and rest of the things can be learned during the process. It is just a process you need to follow. You do not have to, you do not need to know anything to start the process. Okay. Yeah. So another question we got from Sri Haris. So how to enhance your career, our career in data science? So if you want to enhance your career in data science, just first get into the field. See, every day something new is coming in data science. Let's say something coming from object detection, something, let's say object detection is there. Apart from object detection, you can say computer vision, production engineering, data deployment, IoT. So many fields are there. Just start with something. Start with some basic machine learning algorithm. Let's say regression, classification. Get into that. Then once you get into that, try to deploy your model. Try to learn something from deep learning. So it's a process. So you don't have to worry about your prospect and all those things. It's a very interesting field. Just try to get into. Once you get into the interest, you will develop automatically. Once you see that you have created a model, your model can do some sort of prediction, you can detect the object. Once you do this kind of thing, the experience is very much thrilling. So once you get into that, you learn some math, the things will be automatically going. You don't have to worry much about that. Okay, so another questions I'm getting from Nikhil. So yeah, so probably the session will be uploaded. I have to check with the operation team. I'm not very sure about that. You can get in touch with them. So Sriharis, if this is your this is not your this is not answering your question, you can be a little bit more specific about your enhancement and all those things, like how you want to approach data science and all those things. If you have, just you can ask. Okay, guys. So I am asked to show you something good. So let me show you something which should be much appreciated. Okay, let me just go to YouTube once. So I'm showing you something from YouTube. This is something you guys also can search from YouTube. So this is called Defect. So this is I usually show whenever I conduct a session. So this is what we do. We try to just change the face of the person.
We had a potential brand integration with Tom Cruise. Like,
yep. So this is what we do here.
Like
we usually, if you see the video, so over there you'll get to see that live face is getting changed. So guys, so there are a few questions I could see. I'll answer in a minute, but before that, let me show you this, because this is something.
Like we got to dance together.
So what you're exactly going to see here, that the person who's actually is talking. So this is Bill Hudder, and after some time, if you get to see that the face we are going to change with the help of data science. So this part is called Defect. So Google is working on that.
That was amazing. We had like, when you do a movie, you do table reads, where like all the actors get together.
At the beginning of the
beginning, before anything, you get together and you read through the script. And so it's like, all these heavyweights, like, Ben Stiller, Jack Black, Robert Downey Jr., everybody. And at the end is like me, like, like, hey, happy to be here, guys. And some other supporting guys. And then Tom Cruise walks in. And even those guys are like, whoa, and he's super stoked to be there. Just like, yeah, oh, boom. He's like, wow. He's just immediately excited when he walks into a room. And so he comes over and he sits next to me. And I think he had been briefed on some of the supporting guys, but he was like trying to place me, So he sat down next to me. He's like,
So guys, if you see here, somehow the face got changed to Tom Cruise suddenly. And see, the transaction is so smooth.
I love your work. And I went, oh, thanks. I love your work too, Tom Cruise.
So this is one of the latest things in computer vision.
And
deep dream, deep.
And I go, yeah, I'm friends with Judd.
All these things we are trying to do with the help of the data science. Okay. So there are a couple of more questions which I want to know. So the first questions I'm getting, how to apply data science in your daily life. It's a good question. So think about this way, that how many times if you're coming like your data, so let's say you can help take the advantage of the data. If you are doing something in stock market, or if you're doing something in, let's say, banking sector, if you're working in computer vision and all those things, so what we can do, so if you're working in stock market, I really don't have to tell you what you need to do. You need to understand what is the rate, what is the growth rate, like how you can see that which particular stock, which way it is going to go up and go down. You can try to understand the trend, and somehow if you can figure out in some particular month it is is going to be high, you can invest there, you can get some amount of money. So this is something you can do if you're not related with anything else. And something else, let's say you can predict normal things, like you can just try to predict who is going to win a particular cricket match, in which particular day is rain going to come, all these things you can. So what do you think, the weather prediction and all those things, they also use data science something. So if you want to use a very basic real life, so these are the things you can do. And if you want to do something much bigger, then these are the industries that there. Computer vision is there, speak recognition is there, and also computer vision. Apart from computer vision, IT sector, production, manufacturing, predictions. And also in healthcare scenario, we try to predict cancer even with the help of the with the help of your data. Even COVID-19 cannot be if you cannot predict with the help of, let's say, some kid, you can predict with the help of the data science. So yeah, there are huge amount of uses there. Even so, right now, to be very frank, in US and all those bigger countries, doctors are also even learning data science so that they can serve even better. So medical science in future will have two trends. One trend will be with the help of the doctor, another will be with the help of the data. Yeah. So hi Subhangi, there's another questions I'm getting from her. How to get data science professional certificate? So data science professional certificates, so we are also providing from Prime. You can get associated with us and just complete the entire course, do some sort of real time projects, then you can get your certificate. And if you want to do some, so this is something we are doing to get the certificate, unless you are planning to go for some master's degree and all, that will take some significant amount of time, let's say 2-3 years, you should do from somewhere abroad and all. Yeah. So guys, we're done. So right now I'm associated with Prime. So if you need some more help and you want to going to get some more information about data science and in some other factor like healthcare, which I currently work in healthcare and all. So if you want to get some more information, you can contact us, get associated with us. Will help you with data science, your data science projects, and if you need some other help related to data science, just contact with us. We'll help you. We'll be happy to help you in this. Thank you so much.